coming home?
What, me or the football?
Football's coming home. Fresh off a victory last night, England 6, Iran 2. So, yeah, it might be coming home after one game.
It's Iran, kid. It's Iran, let's be honest about it.
Well, the World Cup has started. It feels like just so much going on at the moment. Dubai, just off the back of last weekend, had the golf.
Yeah.
You were at the Formula One on the famous lady Allsopp.
Yes, I was.
And now we've got the World Cup.
Tired listening to Christmas
and Christmas is around the corner. A lot going on at Allsopp.
It was 36 days yesterday.
Was it really? Have you played any Christmas music or songs or anything?
Is literally like a grotto.
Do you know what's bad? So I've had my Christmas trip a week. Must have had at least 5 mince pies already.
It's not good.
It's not good at all.
Have you celebrated New Year's Eve yet?
Not yet. So we're not just talking about all things Christmas and World Cup and golf and Formula One. Obviously, this is the Allsopp and Allsopp podcast where we talk about all things Dubai real estate related and business related. So some of the things we've got to talk to you about today, obviously Dubai being so busy, one of the things happened this week, Cityscape. And one of our companies we've got invested in, Houser.com's got a stand there, isn't it?
It's got a stand, yeah, attracting international investors, agents, buyers, sellers. So, I mean, I've got crazy stories about Cityscape. If you go back, like 13, 14 years ago, I remember I used to go there and there was queues of people around stands and they would launch a development and people be fighting to put their checks down and get their reservations. And that's how they used to launch developments.
Do you think we've seen that again a little bit? Because obviously I'm going to talk about a few launches a little bit, but what I've actually found is a lot of developers have held off their launches for Cityscape. So it's kind of happened again where people are not putting down checks, but there's this thing at the moment in Dubai where to reserve a property, before it's even been launched, you're giving an expression of interest.
It's like a backdoor way of selling it without officially selling it if you don't have the RERA permits or approvals to do it. So obviously when you're a developer, you need to have your escrow account in place, your marketing, your RERA agreement. So people are getting their CGI documents really and pictures to say this is what it looks like. Would you like to buy it? If you would, when it comes available, this might be the pricing, give us a check.
I think our official stances on that is obviously buy properties that have got a registered trust account at the land department, make sure you see that. But it's exciting. It's, clearly there's huge appetite still for off-plan developments. The developers still feel the need to launch properties without all the bits and pieces in place.
I don't think you need the marketing to do it at the moment. I just think there is that much appetite. I mean, we've talked a little bit about it, but I think this year they're going to hand over 24,000 houses, next year 27,000 houses. There's more than 27,000 people coming here every year. So forget prices going up or down. People are just desperate to get on the ladder.
So we've not been to Cityscape yet. We probably might go tomorrow, but who is Cityscape for right now? Because I remember years ago it was for anyone and everyone. Really, a lot of real estate brokers as well.
Yeah.
A lot of developers there. We're actually seeing more and more property tech companies there as well.
I'd be interested to see if buyers and sellers go, because if you're a buyer or seller now with technology, do you need to go? We've been to Cityscape and obviously we were asked to go to Cityscape, and I'm a big believer, especially like in retail, hypothetically, retail is not really a need for us anymore because the footfall of genuine customers is I suppose it's dramatically declined, doesn't it? Is it that important?
B2B, more business to business?
I think there's a lot more agent to developers and developers to tech rather than people going there. People will still go there and put their checks down, but I don't think it's the demographic of people that we would normally deal with it. But it might be your older generation that's still going using it. I do believe there's some wealth there as well.
It's great though to see, I guess wrapping up Cityscape, great to see it being busy again after really previously a couple of quiet years.
Like ghost towns, I've been to them before. I remember just walking through and thinking, oh my God, is this what it's about now? But I think it's post, we're well past post, but post-COVID.
Post-COVID. Well, actually talking about post-COVID, I heard something on the radio this morning which was really, really encouraging, not really surprising either. So Dubai airports have now exceeded the amount of traffic in Q1 of 2020, which is pre-pandemic. So there's more people. I think what I heard this morning was 18.7 million people went through Dubai airports in Q3 of this year versus I think 17.9 in Q1 2020. So that's mad. Nearly 20 million people in a quarter.
There's going to be more. Don't forget how many millions of people are going to go through Dubai for Qatar World Cup.
Yeah.
it is going to be a lot of people. It could be a record year. I don't know what I thought the record was 45 million or something crazy.
Well, that was a quarter, just at 18.7 for the quarter. I don't know if it's a record, but it certainly beat pre-pandemic. So I think when I speak to people in our offices, there's actually a lot of people still in our offices that have not ever travelled since Corona, and some of them are talking now at Christmas time. We have a lot of people go back to the home countries where they're for the first time thinking about travelling. I'm trying to explain to them it's so normal. I think everyone's got their head around.
Even masks are off on planes now. I mean, that was my big last, when I went in the summer, it was my big last annoyance that I had, is that I went on to, it depends on where you go. If you're in the UAE, you have to wear a mask. But if you go into like England to Spain, there's no rules. You just do what you want.
So basically, what we're saying is go on a plane. Germs are okay. It's fine.
Listen, we're all going to get ill. It'll make you stronger.
Yeah. So some of the things we want to talk about this week, there are some new launches which you need to know about. One which is near and dear to our hearts, somewhere where...
Near and dear to our homes.
Near and dear to our homes. There's a new launch happened, or announcement, something called Jory Hills in Jumeirah Golf Estates.
Yeah. So
it's been launched where it will be just under 300 villas.
Nice.
Which is a large amount. I think the community only has 1,300 right now. There will be a combination of 3, 4 and 5 bedrooms, and prices are ranging between 4 million to 7.8 million dirhams, depending on the size.
I've seen the CGIs of these, and they're going to be cool. Modern, contemporary glass. I think a lot of developers are taking that approach of the Miami modern style, which is what a lot of people are interested in. If you look at, let's say, the Palm Jumeirah at the moment, they do sell, but like the garden homes, the old Arabic style, they're just not what people want anymore. So a lot of people just get them and change the facades, or they'll go for the custom villas.
You've got to take advantage of Dubai's natural light. You've got to take advantage of the views and the scenery. So having floor to ceiling glass, I think really most elements should be a norm.
I want floor to ceiling grass that you mentioned.
Oh my gosh. So that's coming out. We think that'll be very, very popular. And I think the reason we think it will be popular is not only we think the community is fantastic, but pricing is very attractive. So you're looking in the region of 1,350 to 1,400 dirhams per square foot, which is reasonably priced, isn't it?
Definitely.
So that's one new one in Jory Hills. There is another new launch in Dubai Hills by Emaar, which we don't know too much about at the moment, but that is coming in the coming days, coming weeks ahead.
Yeah.
Still building Dubai Hills. Doesn't stop.
I think it will be, if not the biggest community in Dubai. But what I love about Dubai Hills, I've actually seen it in Damac Hills, to be fair. They're really trying to make it a community. They've got the beaches and the wave pools, and someone uploaded a video yesterday of Damac Hills, and it surprised me because people obviously think, Damac Hills is an old development, And I looked at this development, and they had like sunbath lounges in the public area with this white beach and the crystal blue. And I thought, wow, if you live there and you just go there at the weekend, that is what a lot of developers are doing. They're putting more infrastructure in place.
They've got to switch on to making the community, basically making the community more stickier, keeping people in the community, spending money in the community. I think
stickability.
Yeah, stickability. I like it. So that's a new one in Dubai Hills, and the last one. This is the other end of the spectrum. Is Lanai Islands in Tilal Al Gaf. So you've got some big monsters there. 7 to 8 bedroom villas ranging from 65 million to 88 million dirhams. How many are you buying?
None, not 88 million. Maybe like 8 dirhams, I'll be interested. But looking at them again, they're going to be modern. It looks like they've got their own jetty on the end of the villas, but they're just the thing that people want, that ultra luxury. It's the waterfront living. And I think this is where what I find really interesting about Dubai. Obviously, there's only so much waterfront you can have. You've got JPR, you've got Marina, you've got anything down there, you get Lamur, but that sort of ends. And then what developers are doing is they're building their own waterfront effectively.
And not to mention, there might be activity on Palm Jebel Ali, the old Palm Deira. That'll probably get built up at some point.
Definitely.
So Lanai and Tilal Gaf, obviously they're really, really jumping on the bandwagon with the need for ultra luxury property in Dubai, and I think Jumeirah Bay in particular is one which is going to try out ultra luxury. Obviously,
Billionaire Row they call Jumeirah Bay, don't they?
Yeah. So it's great to see that that they're really catering for that end of the marketplace. So there's lots happening. I think we've got 5 weeks left until the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think a lot
500 more launches by then.
500 more launches. But obviously, there's talks, things we're aware of that it's going to be as busy next year for any more new launches.
They need it though. This is the thing to anyone in the property market watching, listening, trying to understand. Just reverse back into, we need more houses for the people. If you want Dubai to grow, it's not like we're living with empty houses. People are buying it and moving into it. The tenants are becoming buyers. The new tenants are taking over the old tenancies. So it's the natural growth phase I think Dubai is taking. So definitely don't be afraid of these launches coming.
We've spoke very, very often this year about interest rates. I think we've seen as much as 2.5% from April this year to now in rate rises. We are expecting next month, 14th of December, the Fed are meeting again to announce if there will be another rate rise. We are expecting another rate rise next month. However, the good news is we're expecting, and by no means is it guaranteed, we're expecting to be the slowest slowing rate rises. So previously we've been getting anywhere between 0.75% month on month or meeting on meeting. We are expecting that to be slower growth in rate rises. And according to a Forbes article I'm reading from here, they're expecting rates to increase by another % between now and when it might be in the next couple of months. So we might see 0.5% in December, we may see another 0.5% in January, or 0.25% in January and 0.25% in February.
I was speaking to someone very senior in banking last week, and we were just talking about the property market, and he's asking my opinion on it. And for me, I just said, look, the market is going nowhere but up unless there is a dramatic increase in interest rates, because that obviously dictates everything. If you look at anyone that had a mortgage from 2 years ago to today, they're paying 30% more repayment for exactly the same money that they were lending, which obviously puts a lot of pressure on it. But what he said from his banking experience that he speaks to in the US, that obviously the main reason with interest rates growth have happened is to slow down the inflation. He said that they're starting to see this now. The inflation starts to slow down, so they start to ease up the interest rate. So there might even not be one. This is what I heard. And if that happens, that is brilliant for the property market, for Dubai specifically.
I think even if there's a slow in interest rate rises, it's the start of things to come. And I think the commentary about next year, 2023, is that the rates will probably be held for a large part of the year. So you won't probably see many interest rate rises throughout the course of the year, if any, but maybe not come down until end of the year, beginning of next.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is good, because we don't like paying all this interest.
No, thank you. No, thank you very much.
Okay, so what's happening at Allsopp and Allsopp? Before we wrap up, we've got a busy end to our year. How are you finding things on the floor when you walk around and talk to people? What's happening? What are people saying? Because we've come off our second best ever month in business last month. What are you finding is happening?
I think the big thing is speaking to agents and gauging going back to the interest rates. Are people interested? Because you'd expect people to go, no, I'm not interested. And one of the most common themes that I'm finding is that people are finding ways to buy houses. So people are wanting to buy their next property, so they're either bringing their partner onto their mortgage, they're looking at selling one of their assets, release some equity from the profit they've got. But I mean, that's what I've just kept my eye on. When you talk about the health of the property market, it's linked to obviously the population, but being able to actually afford to buy a property. And the main thing is the sentiment there for people to buy houses? 100%, and that is massive for me still.
Well, it's interesting because I look at our inquiry numbers very often, and always after a rate rise, which is fresh in the news, we always tend to see a little drop off in our inquiries, because obviously it's a shock factor. People think, oh no, rates are going up, what's going to happen to the marketplace? And then when people take it all in and realise what's happening, that rents are rising at incredible rates, actually, even with interest rates rising, the numbers start creeping, the buyer inquiries start creeping back up again, because people realise actually it's still a good time to buy, irrespective of rate rises.
I've got friends that they're messaging me to find new places because their rent was 150, it's now 230. It's just like, what do you do? There's only one answer in this scenario, and it is to get on the ladder to ensure that. This is my theory of when you're buying a property. When you're buying a property, you're hedging yourself against inflation. Because obviously, let's say everything goes up in value, generally property will follow the trend as well, which means that yes, you're paying an extra 20% for bread, but if your property goes up 20%, you don't care about the bread that much if your house has gone up that much.
So my last question, big one, 2023 is coming around. New Year's resolutions. Apart from like losing all this weight,
which we said every year for 5 years.
What is Lewis Allsopp doing in 2023 for real estate investing, and what would you tell people to do?
That is deep. That is a deep.
Because you're the man, really.
Okay.
Tell us what you're doing.
So, and I put my cards on the table too, because when we talk, I like to talk nice and honest and open. So I was really contemplating paying down some of my mortgage because the interest rates were high, and they are high. So I was thinking, bloody hell, this is costing a lot of money to operate the house if you pay it down. And then I took a step back, took the emotions out of it, and I thought to myself, if anyone's in that situation, again, one of our friends we talked to this morning was saying the same thing, should I pay down some of my mortgage because of the inflation, the interest? And when I thought about that, I thought there's actually a cleverer way to do it. Let's say your mortgage is, let's call it 10,000 dirhams a month. Rather than paying your mortgage for not paying 10,000, people should be buying assets to rent out. With more people coming into the country, if you rent out your house, let's say you buy 2 apartments and rent them at 5,000 each, effectively, yes, you haven't paid your mortgage off, but your rent will cover your mortgage. And you've got 3 properties all going up in value at the same time. So that is my goal. I think maybe next year, buy a few more investment properties to hedge on the inflation that I've got of my own mortgage. But that's as exciting as it gets. Do I see myself buying another super asset? Probably not next year, but I change my mind on my lunch on a daily basis. What about yourself? What?
Very much the same. I'm the appetite at the moment where if I can have properties making me money before I wake up in the morning, happy days. And I think anyone in Dubai at the moment, if they have spare money, don't pay your mortgage off, don't buy a car, outright, stick it in property, because the next 5 to 10 years, I feel like there's an opportunity to make a lot of money and potentially change your life as well along the way. And real estate is a great driver for that.
And if you are a tenant, why would you want to pay your own? Why would you want to pay someone else money directly you never get back, rather than just borrow money off the bank and then pay yourself every single month? Like, that's what people don't get. They think that when you're paying your mortgage, you're paying the bank. No, you're paying yourself your loan back. Like if your mortgage is 5,000, you're probably getting 3,000 back paid towards your own loan. So it doesn't make any sense. Even in a declining market, owning a house, investing is where the money's at.
I think one thing our father told us is debt's good.
Debt.
Oh,
death
is good. No.
Death is good.
Debt is good. You can make the most of it, leverage it, and buy the next thing.
Definitely.
Okay, see you soon, guys. Thank you very much. Bye.